Hi, welcome to Sunny's Vedic Astrology. I had posted a video last week explaining the fundamentals of astrology, but I guess it was a bit technical for everyone. So I'm doing this video so that the layman can understand how can you gain from astrology and why it's important. I'll give you my own example. I for 40 years of my life never considered astrology, always stayed away from it. The only thing I knew of astrology was from Bollywood movies and like the stereotype around astrology, or from the horoscope I used to see in the newspaper. For me, astrology seemed like 1/12 of the people have the same horoscope for a week. How does it make sense? So I was quite ignorant. But of course, now let me help you understand what really astrology is all about and how it's helpful, or how it's been helpful for me at least, and the people I consult. Um, so basically, if you know your exact birth time, birth date, of course, and your birth location, one can generate your birth charts using any software these days. It's easily accessible. So once you get your birth charts, an astrologer like me can help you analyze your birth charts. What does it really mean to analyze your birth charts? Basically, there are 12 houses in astrology, and it really goes like a clock. So the first house is about yourself. So it's all about your overall well-being, your health, your physical appearance, your personality, how people see you. The second house is about your taste, your preferences, your ability to earn wealth and accumulate wealth, your family, and stuff. So it gives a bit of idea about that. Then the third house is about our hard work, our communication skills, our neighbors. To some extent, this house can also help you see your hobbies, yeah, about the well-being of your parents, and can tell you about your siblings, uh, and then let's come to fourth house. Fourth house is about your mental satisfaction, your mental peace, your domestic affairs, your property, your land, your conveyances. It can also to some extent denote your career, but there's a specific house for that, which I'll talk about later. Then let's come to fifth house. Fifth house is about the karma you're born with, the karma of your ancestors. Um, this is the house about your children. This is the house about your love affairs. This is the house from which you can see your education. This is the house which kind of tells you how easy your life is on a daily basis, or how much struggle is there on a daily basis. So that's about the fifth house. Fifth house is also very significant. Having a good fifth house can really make life easy. It's one of the most auspicious houses. Then let's come to sixth house. Sixth house is about our service, our job, our debts, our loans, any litigation, our enemies, and also most importantly about our health. So sixth house can tell us about all that. Seventh house is about your spouse. Seventh house is our outlook towards people, our public partnerships. So seventh house can tell us about that aspect of life. And if you see, seventh house is exactly opposite our first house. So it's how we look at our spouse and how our spouse looks at us, right? So it's very, very fundamental, how this astrology is. Eighth house is about research. Eighth house is about unearned wealth, like what we get in our inheritance, and also other things we get in our inheritance, karma, good karma, bad karma in our charts. Whatever we get in our inheritance, sometimes we see in charts problems that are over generations. So that's what you see in the eighth house. Eighth house is also about our intimacy with our partner. It's about our private partnerships. Eighth house is about also like occult sciences. Somebody who's good at occult sciences would have a good eighth house. Eighth house can also tell you about in-laws. Eighth house, if someone has a good eighth house, can also get timely help, or help when they need it the most. Then let's come to ninth house. Ninth house tells us about our father. Ninth house is our house of good fortune. Ninth house is about our own karma, or sorry, I would say it's the karma of our parents that we see in the ninth house. Uh, Ninth house tells us about international travel. Ninth house tells us about our risk taking ability. Ninth house also tells us about our guru, how is our relationship with our guru, our education. Those kind of things can be seen from the ninth house. Ninth house is actually one of the most auspicious houses. Having a good ninth house can give you great fortune. And now let's come to 10th house. 10th house is your professional status. It's the effect of karma that you see in your life. 10th house is about your career, your professional status, more importantly. So between 6th house and 10th house, you see your job and your professional status, your career, what kind of line you'll be in. Again, having a good 10th house can really make a difference in life. So it's a very significant house. The 10th, the 5th, and the 9th are like the most significant houses, I would think, other than your own first house. And then, of course, other houses. I mean, they all have their own significance. 11th house is about our achievements, our social life, our elder siblings. It can also be about our profitability, how much profits we'll have in our undertaking. And yeah, 11th house is also a good indicator of wealth or our ability to earn significant wealth. Then 12th house is about our quality of sleep. It's about our indulgences. It's about our expenses, how fruitful our investments are. It's the house of going abroad, and it is also the house of moksha. So if you see, like, the 12 houses are almost like a cycle. We are born, and then we meet our family, we do our hard work, we grow up, we have our education, we have our job, we marry, we have our spouse, and in-laws, and then we have travel, or we have our fortunes, we have a career, and then how profitable our career is, or how much fame we have, and then finally we are in the house, the 12th house, which is about moksha. So these are the 12 houses. So what's the point of me of explaining this? So so once you understand all this about your charts, you can see the strength and weaknesses of these houses, how well these houses are placed in your charts, and when do things manifest. So it's not like 12 houses, everything will be in the spotlight at once, or this is just a snapshot at your birth time. Then comes the planets that occupy them. So what planets occupy which of these 12 houses? And then these planets also rule different houses, like, because these planets are placed in signs, starting from Aries to Taurus to Gemini and so on. So different planets own different houses. And then when you are born at a particular time, seeing the cycle of the moon, you can basically also see what's going to be the timeline of the periods of various planets, or dashas of various planets in your charts. So all that combination ultimately will show you when things will manifest in your lifetime, or across a timeline, how things will manifest, and when which house would be in focus. When the focus is on self, when is the focus on education, when is the focus on children's house, when is the focus on spouse, or when is the focus on career, and so on. So everything you would be able to tell from your charts. The one thing I found really significant about astrology, or the breakthrough that I got when I understood my charts for the first time, was, one, I could understand my strengths and weaknesses and validate that from my own life till then. Secondly, the biggest breakthrough for me was to understand that actually we are very much slave to our charts to some extent. Like, our behavior, our tastes, everything is denoted by our charts. So it made me not judge other people, and that was a big deal, not look at everyone from your own yardstick. So you could understand that everybody is different for a reason. Like literally, I know we say it, but it's literally from their charts as well. Everyone is different. Okay. And then what was the other significant breakthrough for me was to know which are my good windows and which are my, not so good windows or adverse windows. Uh, and I figured out that some of my best windows were already past me, and I wish I had done this earlier, and I had known earlier that actually this is my number one golden window of my life. It won't get better than this. So maybe I could have done things a bit differently, or realized every moment of it. I mean, which I did to some extent anyway, but I had no idea at the time that maybe this good time is going to end in so much time, and I'm not going to get that same exact time ever again in my life. So I think it's very important, if you are curious, of course, to know these good windows so you can make the most of these windows, and to have the patience to deal with an adverse window, and also have the empathy to deal with an adverse window that your family member, your spouse, your children, your parents, your friends might be going through. So give them that space as well. So yeah, this is what I would say. Do share your feedback and your comments. I look forward to that, and see you until next time. Bye.